Well, the good news is the people in my mother's family don't hug. That's really good news for me, though I'm not sure how much good it's doing me now. I'm such a hermit. I should have been happy when shelter in place went into effect, especially, and I apologize to the sensitive, especially since I wouldn't have been in the house with my mother because she died in her sleep around the beginning of the year. Now I'm in the house with my Aunt Alicia, which would have been okay, except that my Aunt Alicia is having a really difficult time. Because my Aunt Alicia is a person who is a real blabbermouth, never shuts up, is the kind of person on the bus that makes you wish you had those earphones that shut out noise. But when my mother died, Aunt Alicia stopped talking. And they're 70. Yes, this year. And we're supposed to worry about our seniors and this virus. But she's not talking. And I don't know how she is. I mean, she's just flat. I mean, she doesn't even cry. Not even in her sleep. I have no idea what's going on with her. And so I was really worried about whether I was going to be able to monitor her. I mean, I have been cooking, believe it or not. I'm making breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And of course, I've only been back living in this house since a few months before my mother died. And I am a bachelor and I eat out of cans. Well, maybe not quite that bad. You can't heat up a can in the microwave. I just felt so bad for Aunt Alicia, and so I tried to fill in the gap because my mother fed her and took care of her and watched out for her and handled her money, everything. And Aunt Alicia, until shelter in place, would not even come downstairs to eat with me. I would call her, say the meal is ready, and she wouldn't even come downstairs until I was finished and had left the room. And she's been eating a lot of cold food. The first time I tried to keep it warm for her, she seemed really irritated, and so I just let it be, just let it stay on the table. I was worried that all of a sudden she shut down, that she would just stay in her room and fade away like people do. You know, like these people who've been married forever and one spouse dies and then a few days later, weeks later, months later, the other spouse dies. Because my mother and my Aunt Alicia have been living together for about 25 years in this house, my mother's house. And they were very different people. Very. And apparently there were there were much longer periods of time that they weren't speaking to each other than I was not speaking to my mother. And one of those apparently involved a husband, the only husband they've ever had between them. It was Aunt Alicia's husband. She never talks about him, and when I tried to find out what that story was from my mother, of course she didn't tell me because I wanted to know. That's just the way she was. Once the shelter-in-place order went into effect, I'd barely been alone in the house unless Aunt Alicia, she's still riding the bus. Oh God, she's still riding the bus. She's 70 years old and she's still riding the bus. It's a social event for her. She moved a cot into my room. We're eating together. We're doing everything together. In fact, she is somewhere in the house today, and this is the longest period of time that I have been by myself since shelter in place, and that includes the bathroom, and I am not talking about taking a bath or a shower. I mean, we're both girls and we're related, but really, Aunt Alicia, really? But the worst thing is, she is one of these people who doesn't want to wear a mask. Well, as far as I'm concerned, once she comes back from doing her social bit, riding the bus, I think she should put a mask on when she comes into the house. And of course, she's still not talking. So we're talking about passive resistance when I try to get her to put on a mask. She's like Tarzan inside, all and strong. But even though I take care of myself almost as well as she does, and certainly a lot better than my mother, I inherited my mother's constitution. I catch everything just like my mother did. There's 8 different strands of COVID-19 and she won't wear a mask. And for all I know, she might have brought it home 5,000 times. I mean, there might be viruses all over this house just waiting to come and get me.